WrestleCast podcast starts now.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, it's Cowboy Bob, and I'm coming to you live right now from the Cowboy Compound. That's right, with WrestleCast podcast. And tonight we have an amazing, exciting show for you folks. I hope everyone tunes in. Let's go ahead and put this out there. We're not going to be live on YouTube tonight. Following the show, it will be uploaded to YouTube. So make sure you go to YouTube, tell your friends, your family, your grandma, your cousins, everybody to like, follow, and share and subscribe to the WrestleCast podcast YouTube channel. Definitely want to promote that and get that out there. Also, we have a GoFundMe right now going on for Miss Cowboy. As everyone knows and I've posted, she has had surgery and she's down for a while right now and in a lot of pain. So give her thoughts and prayers to her. And we hope you get better, Miss Cowboy. We love you, and I'm sure all the fans do too. So with that being said, also my nephew, don't forget to GoFundMe on him, Christopher Pridgett, for the heart transplant. This guy's 40 years old, got 4 kids. And man, the doctors are pressing for a miracle, literally. It's that serious. So let's keep him in your thoughts and prayers. With that being said, tonight's show, we have the one, the only CALEB CROCKER. Folks, this guy's explosive. If you've seen him in the ring, you know you wanted to go back and see him again. I'm telling you right now, you have no idea. If you hadn't seen him, you better get off your butt and get out to an indie show and watch him, because it ain't going to be long for this guy. Is going to be, I'm telling you, WWE, ID, hey, he's going to be up there right like Shawn Legacy. I'm telling you, the intensity that he has, the way he performs, it's just magic. It's magic. I could go and watch a show every week with him in it. It's mind-blowing to me. Again, also, I want to mention this too. On the GoFundMe page for Miss Cowboy, if you go to my page, Bobby Lee, it's pinned to the top. Or you can scroll down after this podcast is over. I will be pinning this podcast to the top. We definitely want to get as many people as we can to watch the podcast with CALEB CROCKER and promote him out there. That is a must. It has to happen. You guys have got to support your independent wrestlers. It is a big deal. They go through a lot for you guys. They go out there and they work their tail off, city to city, always traveling and putting on a good show for you. They put their bodies through it, and they're working hard day in and day out to go on a Saturday, sometimes a Friday, sometimes 2 days a week, sometimes 3 shows in one day. So support your independent wrestlers. They deserve it. They work hard. And with that being said, I want to go ahead and not waste not one more second. We're going to bring CALEB CROCKER to the stage. CALEB, thank you for joining WrestleCast podcast. It is a freaking privilege to have you on WrestleCast podcast.
Dude, you meet a lot of dumb people in this business, and I'm impressed. You got 2 out of 4 right on your intro. That makes you smarter than your average wrestling fan. I was coming in here a little grumpy because I felt like I'm doing charity work for you, which I like to do charity work. I'm a good dude, right? Yeah, but you come in, you talk about how talented I am. Absolutely, yes. You talk about how hard I work. Absolutely, yes. That's 2 out of 4. What you missed, brother, I don't do this for the fans. I don't do it for their support. You said I work hard for them. I do not perform for them. I do not wrestle for them. I do it for myself. I do it because I'm good at it. And lastly, you said they should support the independent wrestling. No, you should support CALEB CROCKER. The rest of the guys on the local circuit are a bunch of J-Brons. I should know. I've beat pretty much all of them. So anyway, with that being said, hey, Cowboy, how are you?
I'm doing great, man. And I'll tell you what, you're exactly right. Got to take that to heart. Just glad to have you on the show, like I said a while ago. Great day. I appreciate you taking time out of your precious day to grace us with your presence. With that being said, can we go into telling the fans right off the gate, tell them who CALEB CROCKER is? I know they
Tell
already,
them who.
they should already know. We know this.
You know, if they don't know, they probably do know. You're going to say they should already know. Let's assume everyone knows. The issue isn't whether they know who I am; it's whether they appreciate who I am. So you want to know who Caleb Crocker is? Caleb Crocker is a born winner, the greatest wrestler you can see on the independent circuit today. I am a man who has beaten talent from WWE, WWF, TNA, AEW, Ring of Honor, MLW, WCW, you name it. And I've beaten former NWA world champions. Okay?
Yeah,
So just put that into perspective. That's who Caleb Crocker is.
well, folks, you heard it right here. WrestleCast podcast. I mean, the man said it for himself. He's
Now you know.
beating the greats. He's beating the greats. Missy Childers wants to stop by and say hello, Cowboy, and hello, Crocker. How you doing, Missy? We appreciate you stopping by.
Don't talk to me, woman.
With that being said, that's Caleb saying that, Missy. I got all the love for you in the world. We greatly appreciate you and Thunder Anderson. I tell you what, I want to do this. I want to say this. Congratulations to the champ.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
you congratulate me.
We are talking about the champ right here. Grayson, that's right. Can we see the champions? Can we see the gold, Caleb?
Oh, well, this gold is silver, but that don't change nothing, brother. This is the HWA Heavyweight Championship. The one, the only. And it's something that people have been congratulating me about. They're making a big deal out of it. Here's the thing. I win championships everywhere I go. It's what I do. And, they're cool. I like them. I like the money that comes along with it. I got a pay raise, as I should.
Right.
But, all these goofy belt marks out here, congratulating me. What they don't realize is I didn't need this as validation, okay? This tells you guys that I'm good. I already knew I was good. I already knew I was great, quite frankly.
You beat Scotty Brooks for that championship.
Yes, sir, I did. That is correct.
1, 2, 3. Done.
I didn't just pin him. I embarrassed him. I exposed him for a loser. You know what I mean? Everybody thought, here's this big bad guy. He's the heavyweight champion. Who's he wrestled? He ain't wrestled me. Oh, he wrestled Frankie Kazarian. That's cool. I fought alongside Frankie Kazarian. That don't mean nothing to me. Don't mean nothing to me. Scotty Brooks don't mean nothing to me. I hear that on your show from time to time. You say you have a segment called I'm gonna hurt somebody's feelings, or somebody's feelings gonna get hurt. I'm gonna tell you something, Cowboy Bob. Everybody's feelings gonna get hurt all night long.
Well, there you go, folks. I mean, he's cutting dry with it. He's not hiding it. He's not putting it on the shelf. He's bringing it right to you face to face. He's got no problem telling you. I mean, this is one thing about Caleb Crocker. This is a man that is always on top. He does show up, and he does show out. And then he walks out. And last Saturday, he walked out the HWA heavyweight champion.
Cowboy Bob, I don't like many people, but I'll tell you, you are growing on me quick, sir.
I appreciate
growing
you
on me
so
quick.
much. Appreciate you so much, Mr. Crocker. I tell you, I've seen some things with you. I've watched you. Mind blown, mind blown. I'll even say this. Folks, I want to share this one with you real quick. Caleb Crocker got assaulted a while back. Now it's actually been a little while. Got assaulted in the hospital. The man's on the hospital bed, bruised up, beaten down, and has no problem sending a message that he's coming back for revenge. They didn't shut him up and they didn't shut him down. That's the kind of man we're talking about right here.
People think that because, I'm this or I'm that or the third, I don't fit the mold of a traditional wrestler. I'll march to the beat of my own drum. I do things my own way. They think that I'm not tough, that I win by being a weasel, that I cheat my way out. Let me tell you something. I'm the toughest man in the business today, from top to bottom. From top to bottom. I've taken a million beatings and I have never ever stopped. And you know what? I'm going to toot my own horn about it because I don't hear enough people saying, wow, look at Caleb. He's incredibly tough. I am. I'm incredibly handsome, incredibly talented. I'm just incredible, Cowboy Bob. Continue on, though, brother.
There you go. Tell them the truth. I tell you what, Kristen Lee says, what's up, Cowboy? Missy says, correct me if I'm wrong, are you not the HWA Triple Crown champion?
I have held every championship in HWA. I am the longest reigning Mid-Atlantic champion in the company history. I am a former HWA Tag Team Champion, HWA Next Level Champion, HWA Southern States Champion. Let me tell you how corrupt HWA is, though, Cowboy Bob. They actually instated a rule. I call it the CALEB CROCKER rule. Okay? They don't like to call it that. But it didn't affect anyone but me. And this rule is that no wrestler on the HWA roster can now hold more than one championship at a time. Do you know why they did that, Cowboy Bob? They did that because I was going along, scooping up championships left and right, couldn't be beat. And they think that because there's other wrestlers on the roster, they deserve a consolation prize. They deserve something too. They don't deserve nothing. They could come earn it. They could come beat me. Well, they couldn't, but they could come try.
That's right. Well,
that's how corrupt HWA is, though. But it doesn't matter because I'm HWA Grand Slam champion and I am the current HWA heavyweight champion.
That's what I'm talking about right there. Well, check this out right here. We got Christian Lee saying Christian Lee versus CALEB CROCKER. Somebody get it booked.
That would be incredible. We could advertise it as Christian Lee's last match ever, because that's what it would be. Right. And I think that would maybe be a draw. Maybe. I don't know if anybody cares about Christian Lee. I'm a draw. They're going to come out for me anyway. And they'll definitely come out, watch me end some Jay Brown's career. So, you know what? I agree. Let's do it. Somebody get it booked.
There you go. Somebody out there watching. We know there's plenty of promotions out there. Let's get that match scheduled out. We got Missy saying, how do you feel about the EPW invasion?
Oh, my goodness. Everybody likes to put CALEB CROCKER's name in their mouth. EPW has multiple times insinuated that I started this whole little feud because I went down to EPW. All right, this is true, with my friend Ben Wright, my dear friend Ben Wright, to tell Dusty Money that he was a punk and he wasn't about it. And I have that right as an American citizen to voice my opinion. I didn't threaten him. Okay, I didn't slander him. I didn't go out and I went to the horse and I let him hear it from my mouth that I thought he was no good. And then he jumped the barricade as if he was going to assault me. So me and my friend, we did what we did. And we beat the crap out of Dusty Money because he ain't nothing to me. His little trainees wanted to get involved. That's insane. I've been doing this 10 years. They didn't stand a chance.
Right.
Beat them within an inch of their lives. And then EPW wants to invade HWA. They want to use that as, their Pearl Harbor, I guess. But here's the thing. They ain't coming after me. They ain't coming after me. And you know why? Because they know better. And quite frankly, Brother Silas and the War Dogs and Chance Ryder, all these guys, they're just as big of morons as Scotty Brooks and Ben Wright and everybody on the HWA roster. So what? I got some idiots from over here in Bowling Springs coming and fighting some idiots from over here in North Carolina. I don't care. I'm heavyweight champion, brother. I got bigger fish to fry. You know what I'm saying? So let them have their petty little squabble. If they for 1 second though think they're going to catch Caleb Crocker in the crossfire, I will stomp out that little invasion. I mean, so quick, brother. Blink and you'll miss it. And that's the truth. So that's how I feel about the EPW invasion, if you want to call it that.
I mean, he laid it out on the line right there. That's what I'm talking about. Right here at WrestleCast Podcast, folks, we get the dirt, and Caleb Crocker has no problem telling the dirt.
I'm just here to speak the truth. Champ, well deserved.
Yes,
Duh.
sir. That's right.
Duh, ma'am.
Now check this. Check this in for you. This is going to get deep right here. There's some dirt. Christian Lee pops off. You ending my career? My career will end on my terms, not on some macho man hybrid.
We're saying the same thing, brother. Your career is going to end on your terms. You said you wanted a match with Caleb Crocker. Okay, that's career suicide. That's on your terms. I am much better than you, much more talented than you. I've got nothing to gain. Yeah, it's nothing to gain from wrestling you and beating you. But what am I? I'm generous. I do charity work like I told Cowboy Bob earlier. So I gave you your wish to end your career on your terms by wrestling me. Don't you ever pop off and act like I'm not doing anything, Christian Lee, but being generous. A man of the people. Man, no good deed goes unpunished, man. Cowboy, I try to be friendly. I do what he asked of me. I granted him a match. I said, somebody, get it booked. And brother has the gall to pop off at me. Yeah.
Hey, Missy wants to know, who's been your worst opponent?
Who has been my worst opponent? In terms of what? In terms of, well, I mean, you got a lot of just no talented J-Brons that I beat on a weekly basis. Yeah, you got some old stinky boys like Ben Wright. He's just a stinky. I can smell him from a mile away. You got Chris Hamrick. He's a low down, good for nothing piece of crap, dude. Let me tell you, if they're like top 10 people I hate in this business, Chris Hamrick, Superfly, ADD, Jamie Lee, absolute trash garbage, no working goof, thinks he's weighs himself in Jolly Ranchers. That's not a thing people do. Right. Shout out to Curtis Coleman for being a big bald-headed buffoon. Luke Fury for being just an annoying little just man. I swear, dude, I don't know how that kid's still around. I've beaten, just stomped out that kid's little. There's no way. There's no way Luke Fury should still be kicking. Who's been my worst opponent, man? They all suck, and it's all a good time for me because I enjoy beating up on everybody. I view a match with a guy like Heath Slater, a guy like the Barbarian. I view matches like that on the same level that I view a match with a Jamie Lee or an anybody else. I dog walk them, no matter who they are.
I love it. I love it. And you know what, folks? It's facts. It's facts. Even if you don't like what's coming out of Caleb Crocker's mouth, the only thing you can say at the end of the day is what he's saying is the truth. It's facts. He backs it up.
Tell no lies, brother. Tell no lies. And that gets you so hated. You know what I mean? Because I'm supposed to come out here and I'm supposed to not offend anybody. I'm supposed to say, well, we're all really talented, even though I win all of the matches and I win all of the accolades. And, the only thing I have not won is the love of the people. And there's no accounting for good taste, brother. So, I do believe that the people should be more on board with Caleb Crocker, but it is what it is. They can think what they're going to think. I'm still going to keep winning, brother. And when they look back, when it's all said and done, when they're old and they're sitting on their rockers and they're thinking about what were the best times in their miserable, trash little lives, they're going to think back to watching me in that ring, being great, being the man. And they're going to be like, man, like Caleb Crocker, we hated him at the time, but he gave us the best time of our lives.
That's right. 110%, 150%, if you ask me. Christian says, what was your most memorable match? What's one of the matches that you did that stuck out with you the most?
Man, what match has stuck out the most? You know, there's every day is another day in the office. When you're a winner like me, you go in, you're beating up people. But there are a few occasions where somehow, some way, you start to feel a little something in the air, and something's a little different, something's a little special. Jamie Lee is a little weasel, and he's a little dirtbag. And by all accounts, I should be able to just grind his face across the mat. But one night, he really impressed me. We were in, I believe, North Carolina at a boys' home. It was a thunderstorm. We were out on a football field. These kids, they're electric. There's no setup. There's just a ring. It starts to rain. It starts to thunder. Caleb Crocker does what he does, though, because, a lot of performers are going to say, this is unsafe conditions. I'm going to get hit by lightning. Let me tell you something, brother. I'm 10 foot tall. I'm bulletproof. And had I been struck by lightning, wouldn't have made no difference. Jamie Lee, that was a very memorable match. Curtis Coleman on the last night of American Pro Wrestling showed me why people take notice of him. He did not win. I beat him because winning's what I do. But it was a very, very special night to close out a company that, for better or worse, did a lot for local independent wrestling. It gave a lot of people an opportunity. It gave a lot of people a first place to break in. And it was not perfect, and it was not always good, but it was something special. And to close out that part of that history with Curtis was very memorable. Wrestling guys like the Barbarian, wrestling guys like Tommy Wildfire Rich, Heath Slater, Austin Aries, Frankie Kazarian, all these big names that I've had, Suicide. I wrestled TNA's Gunner, Jackson Riker from the Forgotten Sons on NXT and Raw. I wrestled him 30 days after his last appearance on Raw. So, and he was a specimen. And I took him to the absolute limit. Guys like Fuego del Sol, who Cody Rhodes dubbed the king of the tornado DDT. Now, this Cody Rhodes is the top guy in the business, and he said this guy does this move better than anybody, and he's so talented. And you know what? I took that DDT, I kicked out, and then I won because I'm the man. Ring of Honor superstar, Beer City Bruiser. There's a lot of guys that it was memorable. Just for the simple fact that, I know how good I am, but people, whether they like to give me credit or not, when I do these amazing feats, when I beat these guys that have been Heath Slater is a guy who was a member of the Nexus. This is one of the most dominant, prolific factions in the modern era. You know what I mean? Well, once you go, NWO at the, through that, and then the WWF changes to the WWE, what faction really came along and made more of an impact than the Nexus? They were before the show, and this guy was on that. He's a former tag team champion with Rhino. He's held gold. He's wrestled, in that top level for 13 years or more, just in the WWE. That's not including TNA and everywhere else he's been. Wow. And when I am showing how good I am, when I'm going toe to toe and I'm beating guys like that, that's memorable for me. It's memorable for the people.
Hey, it's a statement. If you ask me, that's a statement. Missy says you guys had an awesome match in South Carolina debut.
I believe she's referring to Luke Fury. Yeah, he's a no down, just low piece of trash. I really do believe that he cheated to win, which I would never do. I'm a gentleman, and I believe in sportsmanship. Luke, however, then got on the microphone and wanted to try to give me credit to the crowd which, okay, so you just cheat me, you screw me, and then, publicly you want to play the good guy. So I spat on him on my way out. So, yeah, whatever. That match was whatever. It was fine, I suppose. The parts where I was whooping on him were great. You should go back and watch those. Those were nice. Those are good. Yeah.
All right.
Otherwise, I don't know.
Right here, I think we're stirring the pot a little bit, but let's go ahead and get this one in there. Missy says, well, "Why did you pay off the barbarian?"
Whoa! Oh! I don't even want to answer that. I'm gonna after this podcast, I will be speaking to my lawyer about that slanderous comment. I cannot believe that you said that. And you know what? I shouldn't respond, but I will respond. That is disgusting that you would say that about me. I have never done anything like that. I just told you I was a gentleman. I just told you I believed in sportsmanship. I would never pay off the barbarian. That's insane, and you're insane. Next question.
Next question is, they are hidden Caleb Crocker fans. They just hide it well.
I think deep down everybody knows that I'm the man. The problem with being a fan of mine, right, is like, here I am, I'm great, and here these people are, and they at best have average lives, at worst have really crappy, terrible lives. I have a great life. I'm a winner. I don't really ever have problems or issues because I resolve all issues. I'm the man. I'm smart. I'm handsome. I'm talented. So like when I walk into a building and they're getting nagged at by their woman at home, and their woman isn't as pretty as my woman. I don't know if you've seen my woman. My woman is gorgeous. She's the hottest woman on the face of the earth, Miss Bella Rose. When you see me and I'm a handsome fella, and maybe they're a little overweight, maybe they don't have their dream job. I'm out here, I'm living my dream. I'm paying the bills wrestling. I'm winning championships. I'm traveling. I'm facing these big names. When you see all that, it's hard to cheer for me. You know what? If I was not me, I would hate me too, but brother, I am me, and I love myself, and I'm not ashamed of it. You know what I mean? I ought to love myself. I have done exceptionally well.
All right. What about you beating up AJ Frost?
What about it? I beat up a lot of people. Yeah, I beat up AJ Frost. I beat up, let's go. I beat up Chris Hamrick. I beat up Spotlight Scotty Brooks. I beat up Big Country. I've beat up, how many names you want to name? I've beat them all up. I've beaten everybody. You can go on down to Georgia. There's a man who is over 8 foot tall. They call him Tower. He is a freak. I've beaten Tower. I've beaten everybody. I beat them all. I've beaten guys that go back 20, 30 years in this business, guys that have rode with, NWA Wildside guys that are talented, guys that came up with Xavier Woods, guys that came up with AJ Styles. I've beaten Jeremy Vane, who's beaten AJ Styles. So in turn, I have, by transition physics, I've beaten AJ Styles.
You couldn't have said that even better, I swear. Christian said, have you ever considered going to the School of Morton?
Have I ever considered? I have considered. And yeah, I would love to go down to the School of Morton. And I'll tell you why. It's another place for me to get in the ring and show everybody how good I am. If there is any promotion out there, I'll go. If it's worth the salt, and the School of Morton is, I'll go down there and wrestle Ricky Morton. I'll wrestle Ricky and his son 2-on-1 with one of my hands tied behind my back, and brother, I'll win.
Well, I got to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, we have this question. Well, this ain't even a question. This is a statement coming in from the one, the only American Diesel dump truck says he wants another match.
You and everybody else, brother. Why wouldn't you want another match? Here I am. I'm the man. If you're in this business and you're not a coward, if you're not a putz, if you want to prove that you got, you've got a set, you've got some talent, you got some gall, you deserve to be here, then yeah, you want to wrestle me. And deep down, you probably know that you're not going to win. You might be a moron and you might think you're going to win. There's a chance, but deep down, I believe you know you're not going to win, but you also know that every time you get in the ring with me, you get better because I'm the best. And what happens when you wrestle the best, you get better. The unfortunate thing for everybody else is that every time I get in the ring, I also get better. And there's like a huge gap, and you guys are never going to catch up.
Well, Christian Lee said he seconds that on that another match with a rematch with Dump Truck. And
Boy, who asked him?
She said thank you because she said she is insane. And
yep, that's a fact I stated.
She said you handcuff Big Country, then you go and you use chloroform to beat him.
Holy crap. Wow. Okay, first of all, that sounds like a crime. Okay, sounds like a crime. So first of all, you accuse me of bribery in an official contest that was done in South Carolina under the South Carolina Athletic Administration. So you accuse me of bribing the Barbarian. So that's one crime that you've accused me of. And now you come on here, accuse me of handcuffing a man, which technically in a ladder match would not be illegal. It's not something I would need to do because I'm a winner, baby. But it wouldn't be illegal if I did do it. And then you say I chloroform a man, which I don't know the rules on chloroform, but I would think even in an absurd match like a ladder match, this is still a sport and we are competitors. And I don't think you can chloroform people. And that's a heinous accusation. I'm absolutely disgusted by you, your attitude, your lies. And I don't know why people want to lie on me, why they want to throw dirt on my name, if it's jealousy. I don't know if you think I'm really cute, but you know you'll never have me, and that makes you upset. So you want to, I don't know what it is, but that's insane. That's absolutely, you're bonkers. You're bonkers.
Well, Caleb, I tell you what, they've got the question. They've got statements coming in. Truck says, you cheated me the last time. I'm not the same American Diesel dump truck. And he said he saw you do the chloroform. And Missy even stated she was there and saw it. And she said, see, you know where the place happened. I tell you what, let's go back to, he said you cheated him. Dump truck said you cheated him. And he's not the same American Diesel dump truck.
Do you see what happens, Cowboy Bob, when somebody who doesn't, kiss butt, he doesn't brown nose, he doesn't try to make clicks, he doesn't try to make friends, he doesn't try to, lie to everybody and tell everybody they're good and they belong. Do you see what happens when a man like that, who works hard, mind you, who loves this sport, who gives his all to this business, who gives the fans an absolute spectacle, when a man like that starts to get a little success, when he starts to make a little bit of money, people want to jump on and they want to lie. They want to make accusations and they want to tear me down because they're jealous, because they know no matter how hard they tried, that they never could be as good as I am. And furthermore, they're not willing to try because they're lazy, they're pathetic, they're disgusting human beings. And for them, both these people, all these people, everybody who wants to say that they've seen me cheat, say that I've chloroformed somebody, which is wild, say that I've cheated dump truck. Who has to cheat dump truck? I don't have to cheat dump truck. You know how good I am? You know how good I am to say I have to cheat anybody? That's insane. I resent it. And I tell you what, they will hear from my lawyer.
I heard that. If you know Bill Hazelwood, amazing guy in the business, says a putz. Hey, you made the statement a putz. He said, I like it. Old school. You know the rest. I kept it G-rated for you, Missy. I know you appreciate it. And hold on, Christian Lee makes a statement that the truck would squash you in 2 seconds if he's correct.
If you're correct. Hey, how about if you're a moron? You said if you're correct, that's 1/2, which is not half. That's not a 50-50 ratio. You're not correct. But how about if you're a moron who's running your mouth dump truck, which dump truck couldn't crush nothing or nobody. Let me tell you something, bro. And even if he could, even if he was the second greatest wrestler in the world, brother, I'm number one, and ain't nobody can crush me. Not dump truck or somebody 10 times his size. Go on with that.
Missy says she's sorry, Caleb. I wasn't trying to tear you down, but please forgive me.
Shut up, woman. Man, they think they deserve to talk to me, and they just don't.
Well, with that being said, I want to do this. We got a new segment here on WrestleCast Podcast, and we're going to throw one of them in right now in the middle of this show. This is the middle. And this show, this segment, is called Road Stories. So, Caleb, if you don't mind, brother, Cowboy Bob's going to put you full screen where you deserve to be. And we want you to give us one of your best road stories.
One of the best road stories. One of my best road stories. Okay, so like every time I hit the road, it's pretty great. Everything I do is great from top to bottom. A little known fact about me, I'm a tremendous driver. I do like Fast and Furious stuff, Tokyo Drift style. One time, it was me and a couple of my dear friends. You know, I'm not going to say who, but they were super talented and super wealthy because that's the only people I hang out with. And we were going down the road, and they said, Caleb, look there beside you. There's a bunch of babes, and they're trying to holler. And I rolled down the window, and they said, hey, you. And the guy beside me, who I'm not going to name names, but we're talking former, top tier WWE. We're talking a celebrity, okay? Okay. And the babes, they say, hey, you. And he says, me, right? And they say, no, that handsome man, Caleb Crocker. We just want to tell you, you're the talented and the best. And then they started to throw me money. And they were like throwing it in bricks so it would come through the window, right? Then a cop pulls me over because I'm doing like 180 Tokyo drifting, right? This is a true story. This happened to me. And the cop pulls me over. And, I think, man, I'm busted. I roll down the window and he says, sir, I just want to stop you because I noticed that you are the magnificent one, Caleb Crocker. And I was like, yeah, that's me, dog. That's me. And he was like, where are you on your way to? I was like, I'm on my way to 217 Gilkey School Road in Rutherfordton, North Carolina to wrestle Spotlight Scotty Brooks. That's right. This just happened. This was just the other day. I was riding with a top tier WWE talent. And I'm not saying that his father was the son of a plumber. Just saying. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying. So me and my friend get a police escort down to HWA where they roll out a red carpet for me. Okay? Because I deserve it. Amazonian goddesses come out of the bushes and they pick me up and they like put me on their shoulders and like start like tossing grapes into my mouth. They carry me to the back where I see my lovely woman. I say, lovely woman, tonight is the night that I beat Scotty Brooks They hit my music. I went out. I dog walked Mr. Spotlight. I monkey flipped him. I Uchi Garoshi'd him. I Uranagi'd him. I Canadian destroyed him. I poison Rona'd him. I enziguri'd him. I hip tossed him. I arm dragged him. A Japanese arm dragged him. I wheelbarrow luchador arm dragged him. I Hurricane Rana'd him. I springboard back elbowed him. I moonsaulted him. I 450'd him. I Phoenix splashed him. Not because I had to do all that. He was done at like the wrist lock, brother. I went in, I locked up, I grabbed the wrist. He went to tap. I said, no. I grabbed his hand. I kept beating him. Gave him a sidewalk slam. I gave him a senton. I gave him some stomps. He started to get up. I gave him a shining wizard. He started to get up again. I gave him a brain buster. I picked him up again. I gave him a suplex. I spun him around. I gave him a German. I went to the side. I gave him a side suplex. I scooped him up. I gave him a body slam. I scooped him up again. I gave him a Michinoku driver. I scooped him up again, and I gave him a Falcon's arrow. I spun him around again, and I gave him a blue thunder bomb. I took him to the top. I gave him what they call an avalanche phantom driver. You ever heard of that, Cowboy Bob? I know these ignorant wrestling fans haven't. I hit him with one of those. And then me and Cody Rhodes and my lady drove off, new HWA heavyweight champion. And of course, nobody saw him in the crowd because he's a big star, so he was hanging out in private. But I'm sorry, I wasn't supposed to name drop. But that's a true road story from yours truly.
Amazing, amazing, right there, folks.
Everybody loves me. Isn't that crazy?
No, it's not. It's not. You know, hey, people like Cody Rhodes, for instance. Hey, talent recognizes talent.
Talent recognizes talent. Those broads down the road, they recognized I was handsome. That cop recognized I was special. It's a wonderful story, and I love telling my road stories because I feel like most people's lives are just so like insignificant. Like most people, they get in a car, they drive to the show. They wrestle. They probably lose if they're wrestling me. I know they lose. They get back in their car. They see they're out of gas. They get gas. They go get McDonald's. They go home. I don't eat McDonald's. McDonald's is trash.
That's right.
They go home. Me hanging out with celebrities. I'm winning big time, hitting lots of good moves.
Yeah, hey, I tell you, I can agree with you on that McDonald's. Completely garbage. I don't eat that mess. I won't eat it. It's pure garbage. I'll tell you what I'd like for you to tell the fans, where are you going to be at next? I'm curious.
Where am I going to be? So this Friday and every Friday, I am on a tremendous television show that runs out of Royston, Georgia. And I believe it's like 3 HTC CV. It's a local Georgia channel, but it plays all throughout at Squared Circle Action. Is the name of the promotion, despite what some people may want you to believe. Some people like big manipulating lying piece of trash John the Body Johnson, or as I call him, John the Puppet Master Johnson. He would like you to believe that it's called Apocalypse Pro Wrestling. But the place is filled with some of the absolute top talent in Georgia. We're talking about guys that are just really, really good. Guys like NWA superstar Alexander Lev. Guys like Jacob Ashworth, who is an absolute hero to the people of Georgia, and he's been all over the place. And then guys like me, who I sit firmly atop the roster. So I'll be there this Friday. This Saturday, I will be in Cornelia, Georgia, I want to say, for OSWA, which is another just absolutely tremendous show with a great group of people who run it. They recognize that I am talented, and they give me lots of matches that are just tremendous. The OSWA corporate champion. I hold championships pretty much everywhere that I go. I'm the current contender for the heavyweight championship down there in Royston. No matter what anybody says, I've been done dirty and wrong, and I'm going to right that wrong. But and I ain't going to stop until I get that championship. Of course, the week after, I'll be back in Royston. I'm there every Friday, but I will be at HWA once again, and I'll be tearing it down, doing my thing, being handsome, being your new champion, being a champion that you guys can be proud of, being a champion that the kids can look up to, being, man, I'm so, y'all are blessed. HWA is blessed to have me, brother. That's all I can say. So
Man,
I mean, I mean it. I mean it from the bottom of my heart. You guys are welcome.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Pure honesty coming out of the mouth of Caleb Crocker, man. I tell you what, an amazing talent, folks. You don't, like I said in the beginning of the podcast, you don't want to miss going and seeing him in action.
You don't.
It's well worth it. It's well worth your time. Like I always say, if you've got to sit there and you're tired of thinking about what's going on in your life, the misery that you're living, and you want to escape that for a while, go watch Caleb Crocker live. Go follow him on Facebook, and you're going to get the notifications of where he's going to be and what time it is, location, and everything. It's going to show you. So you don't want to miss that. I mean, I keep up with it. I show up. I show up to watch him show out. So, you got to support it. You got to support it. I tell you, I preach that all the time. And I'll tell you something else I want to talk about real quick is fans jumping barricades. Folks, don't make the mistake of jumping these barricades and getting too wrapped up, because these are guys who train day in and day out. And I promise you, you will have a bad night if you jump the barricade, because they'll take you out.
Cowboy Bob, I thought I was on the WrestleCast podcast, but here I find myself in church because, brother, you are preaching. You're preaching.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you so much. I'll tell you, I love it when I have an amazing talent grace the stage at WrestleCast podcast. I will mention a name. I got to say it. I know you're probably not happy about this guy. You probably don't even like this guy. And I'm sure you've had some run-ins. And that is Ryan Mantis. What's your thoughts on Ryan Mantis, Mr. Crocker?
Ryan Mantis of the War Dogs. My thought is that Ryan thinks he's a Viking. Ryan, there are no more Vikings. There's none. They're done. They faded out of pop culture until Thor and that show, Vikings, which admittedly was tremendous. However, you are not a Viking. You, like your counterpart, are a loser. You always have been a loser, but it's not your fault. The average wrestler, especially in comparison to me, is a loser. You're not the heir to Mjolnir, and you ain't crap to Caleb Crocker, baby. It ain't nothing personal, because you mean about as much to me as everybody else. I mean, take Ryan Mantis, remove the name, insert whoever. It all applies. Y'all ain't nobody to Caleb Crocker.
Well, I tell you, since you mention it like that, and you say take out the name Ryan Mantis and insert anybody's name, I've got a dirt question for you, and that is, who do you find is the most underrated independent wrestler in the business today?
Man,
I figured if anybody was going to give me that answer, it'd be Caleb Crocker.
Man. So there's a lot of guys, right, that you might expect me to say. You might expect me to say somebody like Luke Fury. You might expect me to say a high-flying entertainer like Jamie Lee, Superfly ADD. You may expect me to say a guy like Curtis Coleman. He's big, he's buff, he's talented. You could expect me to say a guy like Chris Hamrick, who admittedly, as much as I hate him, is wickedly underrated. But if I had to choose one, right? Just like who is the guy that is the most underrated? It is me, dude. Y'all should be outside my door every day singing my praises. Y'all should be sending me flowers and gifts, buying my merch, coming up to me and saying, Caleb, wow, you're the man. Caleb, wow, I look up to you. Caleb, you inspire me. Caleb, you make me want to be a better person. Do you do any of that? No. Do you come up and say, wow, Caleb, you're the greatest wrestler of all time? You're better than the likes of Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan? You're better than the likes of John Cena? Dude, no, you don't say that, but it's true. But you could come up and say it. But you know why you don't say it? Because I'm super underrated. Super underrated, underappreciated. And that's how you know I do this for me, brother, because the wrestling fans, quite frankly, do not deserve me. I'm so good, a generational talent, and they don't appreciate it. They cheer for morons like Ryan Manis, like Dumb Truck, like whoever, when they got the guy right here.
I love it. I love it. Pure honesty right out of the mouth of Caleb Crocker right here on WrestleCast Podcast, where we get the dirt.
Right.
Caleb, let me ask you this. What's one of your most embarrassing moments?
One of my most embarrassing moments in the sport of professional wrestling. I thought coming on this podcast was going to be embarrassing. I didn't realize that you were a sophisticated gentleman with taste. I'd say, getting in the ring and having to wrestle guys like, your big countries, your Spotlight Scotty Brooks, your Jamie Lees. It's embarrassing because I deserve better. I should be wrestling your John Cenas. I should be wrestling your CM Punks. I should be wrestling your Cody Rhodeses and such. I should be wrestling the top of the top of the top of the top. But I swear, man, there's a huge conspiracy in the business to keep me down because I'm so freaking good. And, I don't brown nose. Maybe if I politicked a little more, they'd ease off of holding me down. They got their corporate boots on my neck and such. But, I think it's really embarrassing when I have to wrestle subpar talent. And then I got to beat them so badly. And maybe their mother's there. Maybe their grandmother's there. Maybe their child is there. And, I gotta beat somebody in front of their son, and they're looking up at their hero, their rock, their world, just getting smashed, just getting dog walked, just getting just absolutely humiliated. And that's embarrassing for me. When I gotta wrestle these subpar talent in front of their women, and I'm beating up on them, and I'm embarrassing them in front of their lady. Now their lady's looking at me. Now their lady's thinking, wow, Caleb's really handsome. Wow, Caleb's really talented. Wow, I wish I could be with Caleb. But they can't because I have the hottest woman on the face of planet Earth.
Folks, I tell you what, it doesn't seem like he leaves anything to the imagination. He puts it all right there on the table. And you know what? That's hard to find this day in the independent scene. I'll tell you something else. When people do promos, another issue I find watching promos out of people is there's no intensity. It's not ballet. You're going to go face somebody. As he would say, dog walk you. Put your face in the mat. So it's not ballet. Got to have intensity when you do these promos. You gotta let them people know that you feel what you're about to do to somebody. It's affecting you inside. And that's what Caleb does, man. He brings the intensity in these promos. Mind blowing. How
I
about
think
this?
that the problem, Cowboy Bob, a huge problem is that these guys come out here and they've watched wrestling and they think that, okay, now I've swindled a promoter into giving me a book and I'm a wrestler. But they haven't put in the work. They're just playing wrestler. So when they start to do a promo, which they don't even know the purpose of these promos. These morons don't know what they're trying to do. Hey, morons, try and sell some tickets. Idiots. But they get up there and they start to repeat the things that they've heard the greats say. Oh, I'm the best. Oh, I'm going to win. Blah, blah, blah. And then they want to recap what happened. Oh, because 3 weeks ago you jumped me into it. Blah, 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 blah. There's only one thing that you need to know when it comes to me, when I speak to the people. You don't need to know what happened 2 weeks ago. You don't need to know this, that, and the third. You need to know that Caleb Crocker is going to be somewhere. And if you want to see something great, you better come get a ticket. You better come check it out. Who am I going to wrestle? Don't matter. I'm going to beat all over them. I'm going to embarrass them. I'm going to hurt them. And then I'm going to win. But these guys, they know that deep down what they're saying is not true. They say, oh, I'm the best in the world. What have you done to prove that? Who have you wrestled? Where have you gone? Who do you know? Nobody. You've done nothing. You don't speak genuinely. Let me tell you something. When I say I'm the best, when I say I'm unbeatable, it's because I'm the freaking best. It's because I'm unbeatable. Not because I said I'm the best, because I decided I'm the best, because I'm arrogant, because I have an ego. No, I'm the best because I put in a lot of freaking work. And then I went out and proved it time and time again when faced with massive obstacles, when everybody counted me out, and I ain't do it with no help. I've never had any support system. I've never had anybody backing me. In fact, they tried really hard to get rid of me, but Caleb Crocker cannot be shut down, and you can't get rid of me. So yeah, that's what's wrong with promos. You got a bunch of J-Brons that need to come on and say something believable, something that you know is true. Hey, my name is Mark Green and I'm a loser. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm gonna wrestle Caleb Crocker and lose, but hopefully if I'm respectful and I get on my knees and I tell him how talented he is and I let him know that I know, maybe he'll be gracious enough to spread a little knowledge.
That's
what they should be saying in their promos.
Man, Caleb, that was fire. That was fire. Hey, check this out. McQueen says, yo, and then he says, we need to run it back one more time, my brother.
Run it back? I'm a man of the people. I'll give you your match. I'll run it back and I'll run over you, my guy.
And you heard it there, right here on WrestleCast Podcast. This show has been on fire. That's my opinion. And I hope it's the opinion of the fans, because WrestleCast Podcast is going to bring you the best in the indie business. I'm telling you that right now. And we have the one, the only, the HWA heavyweight champion, Caleb Crocker. That's exactly right, folks. And now that brings me to this. This is the segment to where we get the dirt. It's going to happen right here, because this segment was invented by the one, the only, gosh almighty, Lord help us all, Roughneck, who I've always had a problem with. And it's called, I'm About to Hurt Someone's Feelings.
Hurt someone's feelings. I think I told you at the beginning of this show that I was going to hurt everyone's feelings the whole time. And I wasn't going to do it by spreading a bunch of lies, by being mean. I was going to do it by telling the truth. So you want me to hurt someone's feelings? I'll hurt everybody's feelings. Listen up. No matter who you are, no matter what state you're in, no matter what your accolades are, where you've been, what you've done. You may think that you're a worker. You ain't no worker. You ain't know nothing about working, and you ain't never worked a day in your life. You may think that you're good on that mic, but all you are is a bunch of children playing pretend. A bunch of guys who want to be wrestlers on the weekends, but I'm a wrestler every single freaking day. You guys are not as tough as you think you are. You're not as smart as you think you are. And you're not a quarter of as talented as you think you are. And you may think that I'm a jerk. You may think I'm hard to work with. You may think I'm this. You may think I'm that. I'm a detriment to your promotion. You may think that I'm entitled, that I have an ego. But let me tell you something. I sell tickets. I leave everyone in awe because I am awesome. And I mean that in the truest sense of the word. I am freaking awesome. Everything I do is pure greatness. It is magic. And none of you are anything compared to me. Even the ones, no, especially the ones who think they're so much better than me, who think that I ain't nobody, that I ain't done nothing, that you've deserved the spots that I get, that you deserve my praise, that you deserve my accolades. Y'all ain't nothing but a bunch of no working Jay Brones who could not lace my Chuck Taylors on my worst day. So, if your feelings ain't hurt by that, then maybe you've got a set and can survive in this business. But if your feelings are hurt by that, all I can tell you is take a long, hard look in the mirror. Be honest with yourself, because if you want to make any sort of an impact, if you want to be the second best, if you want to try to come in under me and be almost as good as I am, then you're going to have to toughen up, buttercups. It ain't ballet. I'm not here to make friends. I'm not here to be nice. Oh, am I a jerk? I'm sorry, I missed where on the prerequisites to be a wrestler that being nice and being humble was something I had to do. Be nice to who? A bunch of guys who want my spot? Be nice to who? A bunch of guys who throw me under the bus in a heartbeat and have? Be nice to who? A bunch of guys who think they're better than me because they're all buddy and they play the politics? Well, let me tell you something. I ain't never politicked. I ain't never bowed down or changed who I was or kissed the ring or compromised myself. I ain't never done nothing but been Caleb Crocker, for better or worse, no matter who it rubbed wrong or right. And what I have had is immense success. And what I have had is immense hate. And guess what? That hate didn't ever mean anything to me, because I have also had immense praise. And guess what? It doesn't mean anything to me either. Whether you love me, whether you hate me, it doesn't matter. I'm going to keep doing me either way. You guys can say I'm the worst. You can say I'm a terrible person, that I cheat, that I do this, that I do that. I'll tell you what I do. I win. I make money. I put food on my family's plates. I take my beautiful woman out with all that prize fighting cash. That's what I do. And if you guys don't like it, and if you don't like me, and if you want to try to X me out where you can, go ahead, brother, because my name is Caleb Crocker. I am the Filthy Fabio. I am the American Stiff Style, and I am the future of this business. And my path is only going to continue to rise. And that is what I got to say on it, brother.
My God almighty, folks. I'll tell you what, that's it right there. That's the fire. That's the intensity. And with that being said, that's the truth. And at WrestleCast Podcast, that's the dirt. And I tell you what, if your feelings ain't hurt, my mind is on. You know, I will throw this one last one in. And that is, the Queen says it ain't the same mayhem now.
It doesn't matter if this is the prime of mayhem. It doesn't matter if this is a mayhem that has grinded day in and day out. It doesn't matter if this mayhem is tough as nails, because this mayhem ain't nothing but another Jay Brown, another guy on this circuit. You think you're the only one who thinks you're different? You think you're the only one who thinks you're better? You think you're the only one who thinks that you can take me? You think you're the only one who thinks they've grown and improved? Maybe you have, and I hope for the betterment of the business. I hope for the fans' sake that you have gotten better. I hope all you trash wrestlers get better. So these fans that pay to come to these shows don't have to watch your crap matches. I hope you've all gotten better, but you can get as good as the day is long. And it ain't gonna change a thing because I'm Caleb Crocker, and you ain't never gonna be as good as me.
I tell you what, it don't get no better than that. And Caleb, I just want to say, I want to thank you once again for taking time out of your precious day to grace us with your presence right here at WrestleCast Podcast. And with that being said, if you don't mind, give me a minute of your time and when we go off the air. But I want to say this, folks. It's like I always say, if you got plans, you're going to want to break them because WrestleCast Podcast is the place to be. And we'll be back here next Tuesday with another exciting episode. Don't you miss it. I'll be here. You be there.
Won't waste another minute. No, I won't. I'm a man on a mission. I'm a man on a mission. I don't need no permission.